Hey guys, I'm Joshua Clay with Woke Action-Based Coaching Systems, and now we're going to go over a regular bodyweight squat. Now, before we get into how to execute a bodyweight squat, I want to go over two common mistakes I see. Now, the number one is coming up on our toes. When we pull our hips to our heels and descend to that bottom squat position, you'll notice a lot of people like to come up on their toes like this. So, we want to make sure that we're keeping our heels down throughout the entire movement. Second one is falling over at the chest. So, you'll see a lot of people right here. Okay? I want you to imagine someone is standing in front of you. If someone is standing in front of you as you descend into that squat position and coming up on the way up, they should still be able to see a logo on your chest, okay? So, if I descend in that squat position and I'm falling over, all right, then I block them from seeing that logo. So, keeping those shoulder blades together will help us keep that nice upright torso, okay? So, now let's go ahead and go over the squat. When we get into our squat position, I want you to think whatever is most comfortable. So, if your feet hip width is comfortable and you can get safely into a parallel squat, that is fine. If you have to get your feet outside hip width apart, as I do, that is fine as well, okay? Let's go over toes. Now, you'll hear a lot of people talk about have to keep your toes straight, okay? If you lack a little bit of ankle mobility, you're naturally gonna wanna point your toes away from your torso to get into that bottom squat position, all right? That's your body compensating. So, if we have to set up with our toes pointing out about 10 to 20 degrees and a little wider than our hips, that is completely fine, okay? Everybody's got different femur lengths, different movement capabilities, all right? We're all about fitting the squat to the individual, okay? Now, we're gonna go ahead, put our hands at shoulder height. What we're gonna think about doing is pulling our hips to our heels. I don't want you to think about dropping into a squat position. I want you to think about pulling yourself into that squat position so that we maintain control throughout the entire movement, okay? So what we're gonna do, hands at shoulder height, keeping that nice upright torso. Now at the top, we're making sure to align our shoulders, hips, and knees. A lot of times, what you'll see people do is when they come up, hyperextending, putting a lot of pressure on that lower back, okay? So at the top, let's make sure that we lock our hips in underneath our shoulders. So at the top, we got a nice straight line, if we're looking at it from the side, from shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles, okay? So, position, let's go ahead and get 3 reps. Keep a nice upright chest. Now with the squat, we're thinking about pulling our hips back and down, okay? Now, if you notice that you have a hard time maintaining an upright torso, what I want you to do is think about breaking at the knees instead of the hips first. So, instead of right here, I want you to think about and that will help you keep a nice upright torso, okay? Now that is a bodyweight squat.